Let's go back to Phil Schuman. He is at the Grove, where we're expecting Rick Caruso to speak at any time now. Phil.
Yeah, the music is pumping. The announcer's been promising the program is about to begin. A pretty good-sized crowd on the lawn on the Grove, one of the open spaces here. You see the stage behind me set with the city flag, the state flag, the American flag, and then one of Caruso's slogans, "For the love of LA." The announcer off camera tried to get the crowd a few minutes ago to get fired up with a chant, Caruso can, and like about 3 people did it, and so he gave up. It was really lame. But I'm told that Rick Caruso is going to be the one and only speaker. That could change. Not clear who's going to be on the stage with him. Probably Joe Buscaino, probably his wife, his 4 adult children. We saw 2 of them, 2 of the boys, with him in Boyle Heights Senior Center this afternoon when Caruso cast his vote and kind of got choked up about it, talking about his family. This, of course, is the one and only setting for Rick Caruso election night watch party. I don't recall any recent times where the Grove has actually been completely shut down like it has been tonight. Metal detectors, security guards, as we've been talking about. And people ready to hear from Caruso. Alex and Christine, the question tonight, is it going to be a good night for Caruso or a great night? It doesn't look like he's going to get over 50%, but still early. And it looks like we're going to hear a lot more about Rick Caruso and Karen Bass over the next several months leading up to November, right?
Yeah, so far it looks like just a good night. It's interesting, Phil. You and I have been out there so much. I can't remember him even giving a speech. He has not done the sort of traditional campaign, like where he's up at a podium at a rally. Right. We haven't seen him do anything like what he's doing tonight.
No, this is a first. Usually he's done very small, like invitation-only events in community groups. I was with him at an event at a temple in Encino. Remember, he had ex-police chiefs. He was at Grand Central Market early this week, but in a very quick walkthrough. He was on Pico and Robertson. Remember, he went to the Beverly Hills Bagel Shop and walked around some other locations there. So yeah, and it's really one-on-one meet and greet, business owners, taking pictures with residents, listening to them. But as far as taking the stage and a big event like this, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, he's very smooth. He's very polished. He has a great staff that's worked with him on this campaign that he's very close with. So it's going to be everything's a first with him as far as the campaign, because he's never run for office before.
Well, if this does go to November, it gives Rick Caruso a lot more time to get his name out for those who don't know him well, not that election savvy. I mean, it does give him time to get more advertising out there. If you're not going to get the 51.
It's hard to imagine that anybody that that has been awake or alive in the Los Angeles area hasn't seen Rick Caruso or heard Rick Caruso on either their TV or their phone or
but
their
look at the turnout. Look at the turnout, though.
Right. I know, I get it. A lot of people certainly haven't focused on it yet, and you're right. That will give him a lot more time. However, when we talk with people like Jessica Levinson and other analysts, they view it as an advantage for Bass, because the theory, at least, is that the November electorate is a broader one, perhaps more liberal, which favors Bass. But again, Rick Caruso's financial resources have been a wild card in this race. This is unprecedented. We've never had anybody be able to reach this many people with an ad buy like we've had with Caruso. It brought him from single digits name recognition to where he is today. So going forward, if you have a blank check that you can loan your campaign an infinite amount of money, we've never really seen anything like that before in recent Los Angeles history. Maybe you could look at Michael Bloomberg in New York. You can't really look at Richard Riordan, Dick Riordan way back when. That was a different time, a different era before
California.
Yeah, that went nowhere. So, money gets you sort of a ticket to the dance, so to speak. And now, between now and November, it's really convincing voters that you have a better plan than the other candidate.
There's some estimates that he could spend as much as $100 million on this. It was really interesting, Phil. I'm sure you saw the LA Times profile about how he made his money and what he does in business, that he doesn't really work with investors. That in all of these businesses he's done, he's always spent his own money. That way he's in total control. That's what he did with the Grove, and that's what he's doing now. I mean, he does some fundraisers occasionally, but essentially, Rick Caruso's philosophy on that is, I don't want to owe anybody anything. I want to do things the way that I want to do them. And that's what he says is a plus, that he doesn't have any special interest that he's beholden to.
Right, and that's what Karen Bass uses to criticize him, because there's 15 members of the city council. There's the LA DWP, which is its own entity. There's the World Airport. So it's not like you can come in as the mayor of Los Angeles and dictate how you want things done. What he's saying is that that's exactly what I can do, but in the sense that I can work well with others. He'll play well with others. He understands certainly the way that the power structure of the city is set up. I mean, he was behind one of the most important changes in the city in our lifetimes, which was getting rid of a police chief he felt was underperforming in Bernard Parks and bringing in Bill Grattan, which most people credit with really making a significant change in the direction of the LAPD. Succeeded by Charlie Beck, succeeded by Michael Moore. There's some dispute over how much credit that Caruso should take for that, but he was the president of the police commission. The police commission was, of course, appointed by the mayor. So the point is that he says that criticism of him as being a dictatorial type isn't really valid, that he gets things done by working with people, which Karen Bass says is one of her strengths.
All right, Phil. We should note that also Chief Parks came out with a scathing letter about Rick Caruso and the move that was made. But we're going to have you stand by in case Rick Caruso does come out and speak. We'll come back to you. In the meantime, we want to check in at Bass headquarters with Coco McAvoy, who's live at that party. Coco?
Christine and Alex, you might have seen me just ducking. That's because the mariachi band is coming through right now, and I wanted to make sure I was seeing that correctly. But although, as we've been mentioning, it appears so far that Rick Caruso is ahead in the polls slightly, that's really not killing the vibe here at the Karen Bass watch party. Take a look here. The mariachi band is here to perform. The music has been going all night long here, and we've really started to see more supporters come trickling in throughout the evening as soon as the doors opened at 8 o'clock this evening. Take a look at this mariachi band. They're so impressive. This is a rooftop, so they were performing near the pool side earlier today. Now they've come here closer to the stage. Maybe that's a sign that we'll see Congresswoman Karen Bass soon. I know I'm seeing Mike Feuer walk over here now. So he's here. Obviously, remember that Feuer did drop out of the race and endorsed Karen Bass. So if he is here right now, he is speaking to media. All of us right now are on this riser so that we can be prepared to get Karen Bass as soon as she takes the podium to speak tonight. Again, it's still early in the polls, so we're waiting to see what happened. But again, you can see that the mariachi band just performed here. Again, Mike Feuer is here as well, along with other supporters of Karen Bass. So we will continue to keep an eye out and see who comes in here, and we'll be live again coming up at 10.
Yeah, hopefully we can hear from some of those supporters. See, maybe we can get Mike Feuer to talk with us, Coco. It's interesting. I saw the mariachi band out with her in Mariachi Plaza. She's a big fan of that. And Karen Bass has hit a lot on her own personal. Do you want to, Coco, you want to take it away?
I do. I kind of want to see if we can get Mike Feuer in on here.
And she brings people together. She's a great listener, and at the same time, she knows how to handle really complex situations. I served with her in the Great Recession in Sacramento. It was a tough time to govern, but I saw the leadership qualities that she had. the intelligence, the integrity, and the ability to say, you know, we can find common ground here. And we need that right now. Practical, common ground focused leadership in a city that is facing a homelessness emergency, public safety issues, a pandemic. Karen is the right person at the right time. Yes. No, there's no one's going to win outright tonight. There's going to be a runoff. It's going to be between Karen and Caruso, and Karen is going to emerge well situated to win. Caruso needed to put it away in the primary, and he didn't do it. The early returns show that his return on his massive investment was lousy. The runoff is going to display Karen's strengths because she has the opportunity to really have a conversation with the city, and more people are going to be voting in November. And for Karen, the more people who vote, the better, because she is the most inclusive candidate in the race.
So I'm going to try to get a one-on-one with Mike Feuer shortly after this, but I wanted to chime in. Not sure if you were able to hear completely what he was saying, but what he was saying is that in his mind, it was going to be between Caruso and Karen Bass. And he's saying that this runoff situation is really perfect for Congresswoman Bass, saying that she'll be able to really show her strengths and be able to campaign and pull ahead of Rick Caruso. Something else that Feuer said is that he believes if Caruso was going to win this mayoral race, that he would have won in the primary. So very interesting, and we'll definitely get more time with him coming up.
I think he also said that he did it my way. So, Coco, thank you very much. Nice job interpreting out there. We appreciate it. Enjoy the music. That is sort of the conventional wisdom, but that a lot of people in LA politics believe, which is what Mike Feuer said right there. Because if you think about if the two of them are one-on-one in the fall, there is a thought that a lot of the traditional Democratic constituencies will get behind Karen Bass, like Kevin De Leon, who right now is in third place, others, this party, the official Democratic Party, Barack Obama, some of the big-name Democrats could get behind her, and try to remind folks that Rick Caruso spent much of his life as a Republican. He donated to a lot of Republicans. Karen Bass is a Democrat who's been with us, who looks like more of the people of the city. Vote for her. And there is a thought that the fall, Karen Bass might actually perform even better.
Well, it also depends on what's happening on the planet in November. We know that people were really upset in Los Angeles about crime and homelessness. And Rick Caruso said he had the better plan for cleaning up Los Angeles. That was his whole pitch. So really, if crime is worse, people might sway towards Rick Caruso. If there's no change in the homelessness crisis, and he comes up with a plan and sounds stronger on the issue and continues to paint her as a career politician.
Right.
His argument was, let's get the career politician out of the way. We've seen what you've done over these years, and look at our city, it's a mess.
Well, and you also think about how political moods can change so quickly. You think about a couple years ago, the BLM movement, right?
Defund police.
Defund police. George Gascon brought in there. And Rick Caruso said to me that he couldn't have run for mayor back then because the mood wasn't there. We'll see if the mood continues. I think that's one of the smartest points of the night, which is we don't know then in November what exactly will be happening. Well, and events on the ground can change very quickly in politics.
And we think, too, even the national affairs right now, Alex, we look at high gas prices.
Yep.
We look at inflation. Might there be more unhappiness with the Biden administration, as we often see in a midterm election?
Right.
Might that sway more people to come up and say, look, we see what the Democrats are doing, even though Rick Caruso is now a declared Democrat, more of a centrist, he says. But that could push people towards Rick Caruso as well.
Yeah.